Vancouver Island is known for its stunning natural beauty, but beneath the surface, quite literally, there could be hidden dangers lurking in the form of buried oil tanks, an issue that is often overlooked but can have serious consequences. Imagine getting a call years after selling one of your old homes that you are now responsible for cleaning up an environmental contamination found at your old property. The next thing you know, you're in the BC court system arguing with the buyer over a case that could cost you tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. But did you even know that your property had an underground oil storage tank to begin with? This is not a fairy tale. It's becoming a common occurrence. Selling a home with a buried oil tank could be akin to a hit and run. You may get away with the crime initially, but karma always finds a way to give you retribution. If you are considering selling your property or buying a property, make sure you know what to look for. Come with me as we go through the process of identifying, removing, and possibly paying for an environmental remediation of an underground oil storage tank here on Vancouver Island. Back in the mid-20th century, many homes on Vancouver Island used oil heating. It should be noted that in some cases, municipalities encouraged homeowners to bury the oil tanks underground due to small lot sizes, and some consider them to be unsightly. Over the years, the island shifted towards more eco-friendly energy sources like electrical or natural gas heating. Many of these tanks were buried underground, with heating oil rotting out in the bottom for decades. So what's the big deal? If these tanks aren't in use anymore, why should you care? Well, if you read the news, you'll find numerous stories about homeowners finding an underground tank which costs thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars to remediate. Now, let's break down why it's crucial to check for these buried oil tanks on your property. And the first reason is environmental hazards. Old oil tanks can leak over time, seeping toxic chemicals into the soil. It can contaminate groundwater, harm local wildlife, and damage the surrounding ecosystem. Vancouver Island is renowned for its natural beauty and pristine environment. We all have a responsibility to protect it. The second reason is legal and financial liabilities. If you own a property with a buried oil tank, you may be legally responsible for cleaning up any contamination it causes, like even to your neighbor's properties. That cleanup can cost tens of thousands of dollars, depending on the extent of the damage. Worse yet, you could be on the hook for cleanup even if the tank was buried by a previous owner. The third reason is the impact on your property's value. If you're selling a property and the home inspector finds a buried oil tank, it can delay or even, that was a wasp, or even kill the sale. Prospective buyers are often unwilling to take that risk. So, getting ahead of this issue can protect the property's value and make the sale process much smoother. Sorry, I'm freaked out, I got stung. And the fourth major reason is insurance and mortgage issues. Some insurance companies will not insure properties with buried oil tanks, and some mortgage lenders may require that the tank be removed before approving financing for a potential buyer. So if this all comes to light, what are the next steps? What ends up happening? Well, here are the next things you will follow if an oil tank is likely on the property. So as I first said, you're going to hire a professional to assess the situation. They will establish the likelihood of a tank existing and the area that it will be found in, and will arrange for the excavation of the site. If a tank is found, they'll need to open the tank and assess the structural integrity and ensure the heating oil remains in the tank. Now, the second step, and likely this person would be hired by your contractor, but they will hire a specialist to take samples of the surrounding soil and test for seepage that could have occurred into the surrounding soil. If contamination is detected, they'll have to follow the local environmental guidelines for cleanup. Every area has a different process for this and disposal of the contaminated soil. Now, after the samples are taken, the third step is to ensure the tank is appropriately removed or decommissioned by a qualified team. Likely this will be your contractor as well. This is not something that you can just drop off at the local landfill. It needs to be disposed of properly. Fourth and finally, after the tank is removed and you've paid your bills, you need to get written documentation for your records. This could be important for future sales, or if legal issues arise, you need to prove that you did the right things at the right time. You did what was within your power. Now, ultimately, being proactive about buried oil tanks can save you a lot of time, money, and stress. Plus, it helps protect the environment, which I've repeated constantly, but we do love how everything looks in our ecosystem here on Vancouver Island. Now, if you are indeed a buyer and considering buying one of these older homes, talk with your realtor about the possibility of oil tanks existing and any conditions that can be written into your contract to protect you if an underground oil tank is uncovered in the future. And don't skimp on inspections. Beyond hiring a home inspector, you can hire specialists that use ground penetrating radar. It even goes through concrete to search the property for buried oil tanks. It can cost an extra $500. Actually, it's probably more now. Everything's getting more expensive, but it pales in comparison to what you'll spend on legal or cleanup bills if something is missed. Now, whether you are a homeowner or a home buyer, knowing about the risks of buried oil tanks and taking action is essential. Don't wait till it's too late. I don't want to sound like a parent or a broken record, but this is crucial. Ensure your property is safe, both for you and the island's future. With that in mind, I hope you get to live the island life soon. And if you want to learn more about doing so, I'd definitely check out this video right here or this video right here.